What's up everyone, this is FromCheng here, bringing you a Armored Core 5 build spotlight video. Now, basically what I'm going to be doing in this video is talking about specific builds I have in my garage, or builds that other people have, and just doing an in-depth talk about it, talking about the history, some of the strengths and weaknesses, so kind of similar to my Armored Core 5 design corner builds, but being a little more specific. Now, what I have for you today is one of the builds I've had for the longest period of time, and possibly one of my most favorite builds. If you watched the dual comm that I had with Dig Dug Dak earlier, you'll know a little bit about this build, but we got it cut a bit short for time, so I'm going to go a little bit more in depth here. Okay, so this build is called Red Terror. It is a light tank equipped with dual autocannons. Now, I used this build way back when the game first came out during 1.01. It started when I was kind of experimenting with different builds, and at that time I wasn't really too good at it. I didn't have wall jumping down, energy management, that thing, so naturally I kind of gravitated toward the tanks. First one I had was a dual cannon tank. Then I used what I used during the JP demo, which was an autocannon and a either cannon or heat cannon, but that didn't really work out. And so I did some testing for a period of time, and eventually I came up with this. Red Terror. So just an interesting little tidbit, the paint job, the red paint job, it's actually based on Barbaroi, which was an Armored Core Next in Armored Core 4. I didn't get the exact paint job down, but it's pretty close. It's got that red hue. It's not based on, Gundam or any other game. It's not even based on 9-Ball. That didn't come to me when I was thinking of the paint job. But yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into the build, I guess. Alright, so for the frame, I've got the Siegfried head. I originally had that because it looked quite nice. It's also got pretty good defenses, not too far off from the Roland, as you can see here, and better than the Beowulf. And only real downside is the energy consumption and the weight. Energy consumption highest at 2302. That's basically on par with the TE head. Okay, for the core, I have UCR-10A. Basically, I chose this because just for more AP, it's got 1,000 more than the Jotun, slightly lighter, slightly less drainy, and it just seemed like a solid choice at the time. It's also got great energy conductivity. If you don't know, having a high energy conductivity means that your boosters will reach a higher speed in a shorter period of time, that kind of deal. For the arms, I have the CE EMS AM28-2S CE arms. The highest defense of the arm type of the CE arms. As you can see, it's higher than the Asari, the Yamnari, the Narva, Wesson, and the Severe. It kind of makes up for this for the fact that it has kind of low firing stability at 178, in comparison with the Severe arm, which is 199 at the highest. But it's a fairly good arm part. It's also got decent energy drain, 1246 in comparison, with the Wiesent 1308, with the Narva 1621. Alright, for the for the legs, I've got the KT-19 Baikal, which is the light tank legs. Basically I chose this because it had good defense for a light tank leg. Like the other choice was the Elbrus. As you can see here, I was aiming for speed, but I also needed just enough defense. And with the Elbrus, it just goes too low, 1855, 1840. Even if I equipped the Jotun, it wouldn't be high enough. So with this combination, you have enough defense to buff out all rifles, and with the CE defense, you have enough to buff out a Lotus, which was the bare minimum I wanted to do. And also as a bonus, it also buffs out all of the rapid fire battle rifle tune that have that tuning on it. Alright. FCS. As you can see here, it is the glance. It's my main FCS choice. It's what I used at the start, and usually that's the first one I go to whenever I try a new build. No, lock on size 16, lock on range 200. That's almost 300 when you add the camera performance of the Siegfried head. Lock computation 170, highest of all of them, I believe. Missile lock 120, pretty good, especially because I have missiles equipped, as you'll see later. Missile locks 2, and the other ones are not too important because I don't use subunits, don't use jammers, and not a whole lot of people use jammers or lock jammers. Generator. Alright, chose the sun. It's got the best energy capacity at 200 and also the best energy output. As a tank, it means you get long glide boost periods, and it just gives you a lot of room to you know, escape and do some creative things if you need to. Kind of a bit of heavy weight at 1000, but trade-offs are fairly okay. Recon unit, I have the ER-36ER. Actually, should have the EA. I don't know why that happened, but it's because it's got the longest operational time. It lasts 3 times as long as the ER. It's got 100 less range, but it does fairly well despite that. Now, these are the bread and butter of Red Terror, which is the autocannons. Right now I have the Kalabase AC-109 equipped. Used that since the start, still continue to use that. Back then you can only get about 1000 max power with Kalabase, but with the patch in 1.03 you can get one all the way up to about 1200. Right now the two I have one power tuned and one power specialized. Power specialized has, as you can see, max power. It's got kind of bad reload time and base lock on time. I actually think base lock on time's okay, but it's got a bit of a high reload time. This is okay though. And then I have the power tuned one, the regular tune. It's got 1137 power. No, 600 ammo. Muzzle velocity 765. It's basically, I think that's about the speed of a Lotus or a Tansy. Optimal range 189. Not that too big of a deal, because with autocannons what you're doing is you're spraying a huge amount of bullets and doing damage by mass ineffective hits. Energy consumption's pretty low. Weight's kind of high, 1000. That's not too bad because I don't equip any back weapons. Alright, Demapur missiles. These are CE missiles. I equipped this while I was testing. So I used a bunch of different missiles. I used BTFs, high speed, and vertical missiles. I chose Demapur because it's the most consistent when dealing with very fast units. Because the Demapur has a high attack power, got 1852, and more importantly, it's also got great missile guidance and impact force. So the impact force 1214 means that when it hits anything that's a midweight, lightweight, it's gonna stun them and it's gonna stop them from moving for a split second. And the missile guidance means that it's gonna follow them for a very long time and it's gonna follow them very actively. Yeah, it's 32 shots. It's more than enough, you know, for a duel. And usually for conquest, firing range 539. Very nice. So when you add that all together, you've got a fairly good light tank. It's got defenses, good defenses. It's quite fast for a tank, you know, booster 86, high boost 212. It's designed for a combination of speed and firepower. And if you don't pay attention, it will rip through you. Because that's the great thing about this tank, is that with its weapon setup, it will tear through any amount of KE defense, just because it fires its weapons so fast and it does so much damage over such a short period of time. To this day, it's still my favorite build. You know, it ties with Daybreaker. As I mentioned in the comm with DAC. And I've never really changed this build since then, you know, since March 20th, or March 24th, because I got the game a few days late. But I've not changed this build since then. It's the exact same of when I used it, when I first used it. And it served me pretty well since then. I've only had to do a few modifications on JP side, mostly internal, some back weapons, but it's a great build, and it's kind of underrated because in terms of the tank, it tends to be on the weaker end, but if you know how to use it, it can do its job well. Alright, so that's it for this build spotlight, but let me know if you like the vid, you know, subscribe if you do. And if you have a build that you would like me to see talked about, or if you'd like to show other people, let me know in the comments, you know, hit me up on Armored Core 5 and PSN, and you may see it up on this channel soon. This is From Chang, signing out.
Main system activating combat mode.